My testimony. I remember a time that I wish that I could forget. Yet it's etched in my brain like stone. Sometimes I sit alone thinking, I wonder how many abortions have the women I slept with in my past had because of me. See, I just felt like tonight to stand up was the night for me to tell my story, because for years I kept it hidden deep down inside of me. It's time for me to let it go now. I want to be free. I can't say that I know or recall every one, but I remember the first. I was 15 years past birth, and I was in love with Pumpkin. A 14-year-old freshman from Simeon High School, thought that I knew it all, thought that I was cool, but the Bible says, professing themselves wise, they became fools. So I began breaking rules, ditching school and cutting class, all in an attempt to get some aspirations to become a rap star. See, y'all, I was well known to be cold with those bars, but my heart had me locked up, stuck in a standstill. Niche, I couldn't see past this girl. She was like the center of my world, and everything revolved around her. I had never felt like this before. See, Marsha was even cool with her parents, who for me kept an open door, but that was all before she was late. And no, I ain't talking about for lunch. I'm talking about no visitors this month. And now we both scared, wondering what would our parents think. They are the ones who really cared about us and our future. We literally ripped their dreams apart, and this could be mended with no suture. But we got to tell somebody. We didn't know what to do. We were only babies ourselves doing what grown folks do, without a clue of the consequence. Until we had to deal with the consequence of sex with no protection. And it's too late for me to pull myself out of this one, because now she's expecting. And I'm expecting her dad to kill me on sight. See, my father always told me to do what's right, but now that I'm on center stage, somehow I've gotten stage fright. So we talked, and she asked, what was I thinking? And without even blinking, I said, baby, I'm not ready to be a father. And see, for her, this only made things hard. So she told her mom, who forced her to get an abortion. And along with my coercion, I can only imagine the pressure at 14 that she must have been under. Too young to know the procedure, didn't even care. Only wish that she would have made me be there. Maybe I needed it. See, things don't register the same unless you see it. But then you can believe it. And now she's left with a permanent scar from a decision that we both made. But she's the only one who paid. Or at least that was what I thought. See, you can run from a situation, but sooner or later, your ass gonna get caught. I felt like it was all my fault. And over 20 years later, my child that was aborted when I was at the age of 15 has now come back to haunt me. My firstborn at the age of 15 was taken away from me. He died from cancer. Too young to know the physical pain of an abortion, but now I know the answer is clear now. I see the picture. And it takes me back to that same scripture. Professing themselves wise, they became fools. So to the teens in here tonight, listening to this piece, please stay in school. Learn from my mistakes. Don't wait until it's too late. I apologize. I'm sorry. I wish that I could go back, change, and rearrange things. If you only knew the consequences that choices and decisions bring. See, y'all, at the time, I was only 15. And I remember a time that I wish that I could forget. Yet it's etched in my brain like stone. Sometimes I sit alone thinking, I wonder, how many abortions have the women I slept with in my past had? Because of me. See, I would just felt like tonight was the night for me to tell my story. Because for years I kept it hidden deep down inside of me. It's time for me to let it go now. I want to be free. Mission aboard. That piece was so important to me. I wrote that piece on the airplane coming back from Jamaica one year. And I just thought about it. And I thought about how ironic it was that I was 15, my son was 15. It don't mean that it means anything, but it just meant something to me. And so how did we get here? September 3rd, 2008, I lost my 15-year-old son to cancer after a year and a half fight, after a year and a half bout of chemotherapy, of surgery, of going back and forth to the hospital. I left my job for 2 years in an effort to try to take care of my son. I had nothing at that time but my hustle. So yeah, I was that dude that was coming to the beauty shops and the barber shops selling bootleg CDs and DVDs and purses and whatever I could sell to try to keep paying the rent and keep things afloat while my son was going through his treatment. His mom at the time had moved to Michigan City, Indiana, so I was kind of like doing a lot of this stuff on my own. My mom would help me out. She would cover for me. I would sleep at the hospital, go home for a little while, wake up, go back to the hospital. And he would look at me and he said, Daddy, am I going to be okay? Am I going to be all right? And what do you tell a child as a father when you're supposed to be his protector, when you're supposed to be his provider? And so there's not a day that this doesn't eat me up at my core. But I chose to live. I chose to live and not die in his death because there are other boys out there that's looking for a father figure. I can't bring my son back. I can't save his life. But there are hundreds of other little boys who I can reach out there and try to make a difference in their life and save their lives. And so that's what I dedicated my life to. I adopted Urban Prep High School on the Inglewood campus, which is the school that he went to. And for the past 5 years, they've had a 100% graduation rate. And all of their students are accepted into 4-year colleges. As I close, I'm going to ask the beautiful Sister Mocha Chocolate to accompany me with this piece. Y'all give a nice round of applause. This piece is a piece that I never wanted to write. It has taken me all around the world, and it has done something to so many people. So I just pray that God moves us in this piece tonight. The name of this piece is called Ego. Everybody say Ego.
Ego.
It's an acronym that stands for easing God out.
So will be done the trouble of this world, the trouble of this world. The trouble of this world, oh, soon,
very soon.
The trouble of this world, I'm going home to live with my God.
Hey, God. Where you at? I've been looking for you. Seems like you've been avoiding me or something. And I've been searching for you for years with no answer, just anticipation. And I've been been going through this transformation, but every time I call on you, God, it's like I get put on hold. And they say that you hear all and that you see all, but it seems like you ain't never available, God, when I call. See, all I remember, it was January 91. I had just left Simeon's Martin Luther King ceremony speaking. I wasn't feeling too well that day. Little did I know that all the while, my appendix had been leaking. And worry you, God. Just what I thought, nowhere to be found. And if it wasn't for my son's mother convincing me to go to St. Bernard's that night, Blaq Ice wouldn't be here with you right now. And where you at, God, that morning when I went to work and when I got to 123rd and Kedzie, right by the cemetery, this lady ran the lights. The last thing I saw, Cousin Mary, was headlights. A 3-car collision that damn near took my life, but where are you, God? And where you at, God, when my mother was stricken with cervical cancer? She's been going to the Kingdom Hall, serving him since before I was born, and we both called on you, and you still didn't answer. Come on, God, this is my mother. Tell me, is this how you treat all your sons and your daughters? And where you at, God, that day my son died? I sat there at the University of Chicago, and I watched him come back twice. You could have intervened. You could have saved his life, but where are you, God?
There is no more weeping and wailing. No more weeping and wailing.
No more.
No more weeping and wailing. No more.
He said, okay, my son. I heard enough. Now I know that times for you have been rough, but son, where's your faith? Seems like you only seek my face when you need me. For I am a full-time God, my son. Do you really believe in me? Well, if so, then you would know that I am the creator of the universe. All that you see from the highest heights of heaven to what you have discovered beneath the earth. See, I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I am the God of Moses, Lot, and David. I am the one who made Solomon wise. I put Noah in the ark before the waters could rise. I gave Samson the strength to destroy the Philistines with no eyes. I am that smooth stone that David slung that smote Goliath in the head. The cracks that crumbled the walls of Jericho. The same one that rose Lazarus from the dead. I am the blood of the lamb of the doorpost that kept the children of Israel safe from harm. Even the staff in Moses' right arm, and I gave it the power to split the Red Sea in half. Shall I go on? Please forgive me, Father. He said, no, son. I already have. Yeah. But see, like Jonah, you've been running from your mission. I've been trying to reach you and speak to you for years, but your ego just wouldn't let you listen. When your appendix was spreading poison through your body, I was the voice that spake to your son's mother warning you, and do you remember what you promised me, my son? Yes, Lord, I do. I promise you that if you allow me to make it through, then I will turn my life over to you. But what did you do? You continued to play. So I spoke to you again in the form of a 3-car collision, but I allowed you to walk away that day. And have you ever asked yourself the question why the accident was by a gravesite? I was showing you that the road that you were traveling on ended at the cemetery if you didn't change your life. But you still didn't listen. And as for your mother's cervical cancer, I am the reason why your mother's cancer is in remission. And I know your son's gone. But his body was sick, so I relieved him of his pain and I called him home. And yet and still I stayed by your side. All those moments that you felt alone, yet you still rejected my truth. If you only could have put your ego to the side and listened to all those whom I sent to you. Lord, you mean to tell me all the while I was waiting to hear from you? You were sending me messages through all those whom I rejected? Yes, my son, this is true. And instead of focusing on the guides, submit to the truth that you find inside. For Satan is the one who subtracts and divides, but he one who adds and multiplies. I'm telling y'all, he opened my eyes. And so to those of you who can't accept the truth, because your ego won't allow you to accept who the truth is coming through, take this as a lesson. Because see, God just ain't using these pastors today, because asking some of these pastors questions is just like asking blind men for directions.
Say that!
But it's the truth that counts. See, y'all, in this case, my ego just wasn't my ego. But my ego was easing God out. Thank you so much. Y'all see why I wear my sunglasses. I love all of you all for being here tonight. I appreciate your presence. Sometimes that's more important than any dollar amount. Sometimes that's more important than a like and a share on a Facebook page. Just to share in a moment. Just to share in experience. Sometimes if you say something like, well, you know, R. Kelly gonna be there. You got 1,000 people that's gonna come. Janet Jackson coming in concert. The Pope gonna be downtown. But if we can show up for them, then why can't we show up for each other? So brothers and sisters, I ask that you hang in there with us. I want all the artists to start making their way up on stage right now. As they make their way towards the stage, I want you to give them a nice round of applause. All the artists, come on back to all the artists, open mic and everything. When I started this organization, Poet, in 1990, I wanted to give back to the community what I was blessed with, which was my art. You'll go to many open mics. You'll go to many different places. We got them in Chicago every night of the week where you can go to an open mic poetry set, a karaoke set. And we perform, and they hand clap, and they stand in applause sometimes. But when are we going to get to the point where we're going to use our art? And we're going to use our gift for saving someone in the community, for changing someone's life. The community is waiting on us. We can't wait on a Jesse Jackson or a Minister Louis Farrakhan or a Father Flager or anyone else outside of our community. Not saying that they're outside, but we just can't wait on anybody to do what God has already instilled in us to do. We can give these young children spoken word and hip-hop and tell them to express how they feel by writing it down, by getting up here on this mic rather than being in their community, picking up a knife and a gun. 200 people were shot from Memorial Day and Labor Day, were killed in Chicago. From Memorial Day to Labor Day. 22 people were killed in Chicago the first 10 days of this month, September. 9 people were killed over the Labor Day weekend, from Friday to Monday. This past weekend that just passed, 70 people were shot in Chicago this past weekend that just passed. The other day, 5 people were shot on 52nd and Morgan. How many people saw me on Fox News the other day? Anita Padilla pulled me to the side. She said, Black Ice, I follow you. I see that you hug young men in the Inglewood community. And we on this 10 acts of random kindness movement. We on this hug and love movement because we got to make that change. Our motto is changing the world, one heart, one mind, one verse at a time. And so, brothers and sisters, we thank you again. It's not about us giving something to you. It's about you giving something back to us, which allows us to keep doing what we're doing. So we love you. We ask that you keep on with us and keep supporting us. We need your support. I say this to my family, no matter what we say or what we don't say, we need your support and we want your support. It's nothing more important. I love y'all, I do. All the artists that was on stage, all of you all, nothing in this night was more important to me than these 4 people right here and my stepdaughter serving food. That was important. And my little cousin who got up here on stage and expressed himself through his art. That made this night for me a moment in my history in this life. So I promise you that all of us will keep doing what we're doing. Life is too short. Too many people are out there dying for us not to continue to do what we're doing. So I love you. Thank you so much. God bless everybody and have a good night. Hug somebody before you leave. Hug somebody. If anybody wanted to donate anything to the scholarship fund, and I know you're paid to get in, then please leave it at the door, please.